Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for clicking on 5 News Web News. It is Friday, March 1st. I'm Matt Heckel, and here are some of the top stories we've been following here in 5 News today. Today is the day the government begins slashing its budget. The government has to cut $85 billion across the board budget cuts from now through the end of the fiscal year. The president has until midnight to sign the order, which will kick off the deductions. But first, he'll host Democrat and Republican congressional leaders for a discussion about how to move beyond the impasse to repeal the cuts. But don't expect any legislation this weekend because Congress has adjourned until Monday. Well, students at East Park Elementary School in Marion County are expected to be back in class today after having another day off yesterday due to another possible carbon monoxide leak. Students showed up to school yesterday expecting a full day of classes when they heard a familiar sound, the carbon monoxide detectors. When those alarms went off, the students were moved to the annex building to wait for buses to take them home. The Fairmont Fire Department was called in to investigate the carbon monoxide levels. Now, they determined that there were no positive levels inside the building and called yesterday's event a false alarm.
It's bad enough when you have to stop and not have school in the first place. It makes it even worse to change your mind again and then try to go back. So, our decision was, we've gone ahead and notified everybody that we're not going to have school today. We'll go ahead and send the kids home. We'll find out exactly what the issues were. And it did turn out that it really was simply a false alarm.
And again, classes at East Park Elementary resumed this morning. Well, the assistant principal of Washington Irving Middle School was arrested on child abuse charges yesterday. Police say 39-year-old Brian Hage got into an argument with a 15-year-old boy on Monday. Supposedly, at some point, he grabbed the boy's arm and tried to get him off a seat at a cafeteria table. The boy fell into an adjacent table before Hage took him to the ground. He did eventually help the student back into the chair. The incident was caught by a surveillance camera. Hage surrendered to Clarksburg police and posted his $5,000 bail after his initial appearance in front of a Harrison County magistrate. Well, the Harrison County Sheriff's Department is investigating the deaths of 2 dead horses in Enterprise. A viewer shared some pictures with us. We want to warn you, though, before we take those, that they are very graphic in nature. The horses were found along with dozens of other horses in terrible condition this week. The Sheriff's Department says they've been in talks with the owners and charges are pending. They're currently trying to find new homes for the horses. A 5-month-old Harrison County boy taken to the hospital a little more than a week ago for several injuries, including broken ribs, seems to have taken a turn for the worse in the past 2 days. Yesterday, the boy's father, 35-year-old David Mazza, was in court for a bond hearing. At that hearing, the bond was revoked. Mazza had been out on bond, but went back behind bars over the weekend after a bail piece was issued by the bondsman. The boy's mother, Sabra Hardman, waived her right to a preliminary hearing earlier this week. The pair is charged with child neglect resulting in serious injury. 2 people are facing charges after police supposedly found meth labs in their car earlier this week while they were staying at a hotel in Philippi. Police arrested 30-year-old Gianna Maley and 31-year-old Ricky Carpenter after they got a tip that the pair might be selling drugs from their hotel room. After smelling something that smelled like meth coming from the couple's vehicle, police searched it and found at least 2 meth labs inside. Later, police went to Carpenter's home in Belington and found another meth lab there. The pair is being charged with operation or intent to operate a clandestine lab. And Benedict XVI is officially retired from his position as Pope. Now the work begins to find a successor. The cardinals of the Catholic Church, who will choose the next Pope, will begin meeting together informally today, with more formal sessions planned for Monday. The first topic is when to begin the conclave, which is the secret meetings where voting actually takes place. Traditionally, voting begins 15 days after the Pope dies, but because Benedict resigned, there is no need for a mourning period or funeral. Before retiring, Benedict changed the rules to allow the conclave to begin sooner. And before we move on, let's take a look at what our newsroom is working on for tonight. First up, well, billions in budget cuts are set to kick in. We're going to have local reaction to the news from Washington. And Chief Meteorologist Ken Meehan will take a look at just how cold it's supposed to get outside for our weekend. That is tonight for First at 5 and 5 News at 6. Be sure to tune in then. Until then, have a great day and make it a great weekend.